right, guys, right? You're welcome to this session. So, in this session, you're going to discover how you can unlock your future. You're going to discover the essential guide to cloud computing in 2026. Hi, once again, I am Chinedu Remus, and I am a cloud engineer and trainer for this course, right? And I represent Tech Dealer Limited, right? The company that is offering cloud computing. And in this course, you're going to discover why cloud computing are non-negotiable for your career, your business, and personal growth in the era of artificial intelligence. So people have been asking us, right? How can I become a cloud engineer? What is cloud computing? I don't understand what cloud computing is, right? Already in the corporate world, how can I switch to a cloud computing career? My company is migrated to the cloud. How can I be of help so that I can be important for my organization? I just finished school. How can I join cloud computing? How can I join the ladder? How can I join this? How can I join this wonderful career? If all these are your questions, then you are at the right place. So you're welcome, right? Welcome. Your roadmap to cloud mastery starts here. So what are we going to learn in this section, right? We are going to learn what the cloud is. You're going to understand why you need to cloud in Nigeria right now in 2026, right? The importance of clouding in Nigeria in 2026. And you're going to know who the big players are: AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, or the Google Cloud Platform, right? You're going to also look at pathways to a cloud career. How can it help you, right? You might be technical, you might be non-technical. This session is for you, and you're going to see how it can be of immense benefit to you, right? Then you're going to look at the present and the future, which is what the cloud. Then finally, we're going to looking at how Tech Dealer can actually help you, can actually help all of us, right, to begin our cloud journey. So let's get started. All right. So what is cloud computing? What is cloud computing? So in simple terms, right, in layman terms, right, cloud computing is when you actually upload your videos or files to Google Drive. That's cloud computing, right? When you upload a video or when you upload a file to Google Drive, that's cloud computing. When you watch Netflix, right? When you watch a movie in Netflix, when you stream a movie in Netflix, that's cloud computing, right? When you try to send a message, right, to your friend, right, over the internet, that's cloud computing. So cloud computing in simple terms is when we try to use services, right, but in the cloud, right? So we don't need to actually download things, right? We don't need to actually download an application to use it, right? When we actually use this application in this cloud over the internet, then that is what cloud computing is, right? So why cloud in Nigeria? Why cloud in Nigeria, right? So before we look at why we cloud in Nigeria or why it is important to cloud in Nigeria right now, we are going to look at three important articles, right, for us to actually see and understand why we need to cloud in Nigeria right now in 2026. So let's look at three important articles, right? And you can see on my screen, you can see that this article was published by Technology Times, right? And this article was published on the 1st of July 2025, right? By Fejiro Awuwide, right? Now, let's look at another article. And this article was published by Tech Cabal, right? And it was published on the 6th of August 2025. Now, let us look at another one produced by Premium Times, right? And this was produced by Premium Times on November 10th, 2025. So let me start from the first article produced by Technology Times. And you can see on my screen, it is written boldly, right, that MTN Nigeria unveils 181 billion naira Sifiso Dambegwa data center to power digital economy drive. So this is an example of what the data center looks like, right? Or rather, a data center looks like, right? And this is what will power most businesses from 2026, right? And it's very important that you actually get, or rather know how to use this to your advantage. And I'm going to show you in this session, right? I'm going to show you everything in this session. Everything you need to know, I'm going to show you in this section, right? Now, you can see on my screen that MTN Nigeria is today, right, making a bold infrastructure play with the launch of the Visifu Lambegua Data Center, a landmark of 181 billion naira, which is $255 million facility, which the telco describes as the largest tier 3 fabricated modular data center in the whole of West Africa. Right now, it is named in the honor of the late Dambegua Sifiso, the former group CEO of MTN. Right now, the Lagos Center, right, the Lagos-based center is a strategic investment in Nigeria's digital sovereignty and economy self-reliance, according to the nation's #1 mobile network operator, MNO. Right now, the project, executed in partnership with Dell Technologies, aims to localize data hosting, reduce capital flight, and power critical services from fintech to e-government across Africa's largest economy. Right? So this is what this article is trying to tell us, right? That MTN is actually building a data center in Nigeria, right? And it is still in the process. So by 2026, this data center will fully be launched, right? Now let us go back to another article. And this is from TechAbout, right? And this is saying Airtel bets on AI. AI means artificial intelligence, with $120 million data center set to go live in 2026, right? So let us come here, and you can see that Airtel Nigeria is making a $120 million bet on artificial intelligence. Now, the telecom giant says its upcoming 38 megawatt data center, now under construction at Echo Atlantic, and is scheduled to come online in 2026, will power Nigeria's AI ambitions by providing the much needed local compute capacity. Now, the facility recently received its first batch of high performance GPUs, essential for training artificial intelligence models, right? According to Dennis Balsing, Airtel Nigeria CEO. Now, if you want to make a transformational change, we are talking about high capacity data centers which can take the load of artificial intelligence that Nigeria needs. He said at a major briefing on Tuesday. So without going further, right, Airtel Nigeria is building data centers, and I'm going to explain in brief what all this means, right? Then let us go to the third article from Premium Times, right? And you can see that Equinix Nigeria plans for a new $22 million data center in Lagos. Right now, the new data center, named LG3, will be the first to be newly built by Equinix in West Africa and will support global connectivity to West Africa with Equinix Fabric. Right now, Equinix Inc., the world digital infrastructure company, on Monday announced its intention to open its latest high-performance data center in Lagos, Nigeria. Right now, the 22 million investment in local government in LG3, right, marks the first phase of an ambitious investment plan of around $100 million aimed at transforming Africa's digital landscape over the next years. Now, what does all this mean? MTN is actually investing in cloud computing, right? Airtel is investing in cloud computing. Now, these are companies that are outside of the cloud infrastructure game, right? But we are bringing it to our home front here. We're bringing it locally here, right? Why will MTN, why will Airtel, why will the major big players, right, want to invest in building infrastructure to power cloud computing? The answer is simple, right? With the rise of artificial intelligence, right, companies have seen the future. They know that if they invest in building infrastructure that will power artificial intelligence, then they are in for making billions of dollars, right? So that's why you're seeing MTN actually trying to invest in building infrastructure that will power applications, that will power artificial intelligence. Airtel is doing the same thing. Equinix is doing the same thing, right? So that is why you should cloud in Nigeria, right? This is the reason why you need to cloud in Nigeria in 2026. So you need to actually take cloud computing serious, right, in Nigeria in 2026. So we have seen the reason why we need to actually cloud in Nigeria in 2026, right? You see that MTN, Airtel, right, which are the big boys that we know, right? The king of multinationals in Nigeria are actually investing in cloud computing. So what does it tell you? What does it tell us? It tells us that without cloud computing, right? Without cloud computing platforms like AWS, like Azure, like GCP, right? AI applications, right? AI applications cannot actually work, right? We must use cloud computing to power artificial intelligence. That's why you're seeing them actually investing heavily on that, right? So that is why it's very important for you to actually take this serious, right? Start your career in 2026. Now is the best time to start your career in 2026, right? If you don't have any foundational knowledge, if you don't have any IT knowledge, if you don't have any prior IT knowledge, if you're non-technical, then this course is for you, right? So who are the biggest cloud providers in the world? The biggest cloud providers in the world are Amazon Web Services, which is AWS, right? And they are the blueprints that, right, that other companies have actually built their cloud platform from, right? They are the, like, let's say, the founding fathers, right? So GCP, right, which is Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft also, right? DigitalOcean, right, or other cloud platforms out there actually built their own cloud platform from the blueprint of Amazon Web Service. So there's no company in the world, even MTN and Airtel, right? They will have to build their own infrastructure, right, from the blueprint of Amazon Web Services. So Amazon Web Services are the biggest cloud providers in the world, and millions of businesses use them, right? Billions of businesses use them, right? And in this course, right, you're going to see how we can actually build infrastructure with Amazon Web Services, right? So let's look at the key benefits for businesses, for startups and multinationals. Why is cloud computing important for them? Like you're seeing, right? You've seen present in the world that the world is now going to the direction of artificial intelligence, right? So cloud computing powers application, right, that works with artificial intelligence. So any application you're seeing, right, that is AI, that has AI with it, right, it means that there's a cloud platform actually what powering that application. And in this course, you're going to learn how to actually do that, right? You're going to actually learn how to build infrastructure for organizations so that they can actually use cloud platforms to actually what power their application, right? And why is this important? Why is this important for you? Now, it's important for you for so many reasons, right? For you to actually start a career, right? A profitable career for you, right? If you've been looking for a way to actually enter the tech market, right? Enter the tech space, right? Then this course is that foundational knowledge course that you actually need, right? Because even if you're non-technical, even if you're technical, right, then this course is for you. And Tech Dealer has everything in place, right? And you're going to see that, right? How you can actually take this course and start your cloud journey in 2026. So let us look at how you can go from zero to a cloud hero, right? So how can the cloud benefit a typical Nigerian and a typical African person, right? So we're going to be looking at that in this session, right? Now, what are the top skills for technical and non-technical roles to earn from in Nigeria? Now we have top skills, right? That people that are technical, right, and people that are also not technical can actually earn from, right, when they start their cloud journey, right? Now we have what they call a cloud consultant. So who is a cloud consultant? A cloud consultant is a person that actually tries to advise organizations on the type of cloud platform they can actually build their infrastructure in, right? So if you're a non-technical person, you can actually be a cloud consultant. If you don't want to get your hands dirty in the technical aspects, right, then you can actually be a cloud consultant. I know a lady, right, a lady that actually took our course, right, and she said, I don't want to get my hands dirty in the technical aspect, right? She took the course and she got the foundational knowledge she needs. And today, right, she has actually created a business and actually helped two companies, right, to actually start using AWS, right, which is Amazon Web Services, to build their infrastructure. So that is how you can actually earn from this career path if you decide to be a cloud practitioner, right, or a cloud architect or a solutions architect in 2026, right? You can consult for companies and help them to choose the best cloud service for them to actually build their infrastructure, to build their application on, right? Then we have what they call the cloud marketers, right? Of recent, I've been seeing jobs about people that can actually try to resell cloud platforms, right? So if you're a marketer, right, or a marketing manager, right, or a reseller, right, then you can actually be a cloud marketer. So what you're doing that you'll be actually selling cloud solutions, right, to companies, right? So you can actually get a certification from AWS and actually get verified, and companies will trust you to distribute cloud products. So this is another way non-technical person can actually start a career, can actually benefit from being a cloud technologist in 2026, right? Then you can also be a cloud trainer, right? Of recent, I've been seeing job postings about companies, right? EdTech companies looking for people that would teach students on how they can actually start their cloud journey, right? So if you're into education, right, and you love to teach, like me, right, then you can actually be a cloud trainer. Now, that does not stop you from actually pushing your career. That does not stop you from actually working for organizations, right? You can actually be a cloud trainer part-time, right, and actually earn from that, right? So that is another way you can actually benefit from starting your cloud journey in 2026, right? Then you can also be a cloud engineer. So who is a cloud engineer? A cloud engineer are those people, right, that are more into the technical aspect of cloud engineering. So they help to plan, build the infrastructure that Netflix, Canva, right, big platforms like MCN actually run the applications on, right? They can be a cloud solutions architect. So who is a cloud solution architect, right? They have similar job roles to cloud engineers, right? So they also build infrastructure that big organizations run their application on, right? They can also be a DevOps. Now, DevOps is more specialized, right? So what they do is that we actually try to deploy applications, right, so that those applications can always be available for customers, right? Then you can also be a cloud security personnel. So who is a cloud security personnel? A cloud security personnel is someone that tries to protect an organization's cloud infrastructure. All these are ways you can actually benefit from, right, being a cloud technologist in 2026, right? So now look at this quote of the day on my screen, right? Now, during the gold rush, many people search for gold, but those who sold shovels used for digging made more money than those that were searching for gold, right? So the same can be applied in our world of artificial intelligence today. Many people are looking for how to use AI, but many of them have forgotten that they could know how to actually build infrastructure that AI runs on, right? They could also have the idea of knowing how to actually build infrastructure that AI runs on, right? So that is a very important quote, right? Don't chase gold, rather you can actually sell shovel to those that are actually chasing gold. So the cloud is exploding, right? And what does it mean for you? What does this mean for you, right? Now, the cloud is the present and the future, right? Now, how can this, or rather, how does this mean that cloud is the present and cloud is the future? Now, we have what they call a massive industry growth projection, right? Now, market analysts, right, or rather, analysis consistently points the robust expansion driven by factors like artificial intelligence adoption, digital transformation, and the need for scalable IT infrastructure. Now, the global cloud computing market size was estimated at $752 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach over $2.39 trillion by 2030. Right, so there is a massive industry growth ahead, right? That is why you need to actually come in now in 2026. It is never late, right? You're still the early adopters, right? You're still at the beginning, right? So if you come now, then you can actually take a piece of this massive industrial revolution that we have ahead of us, right? Then we have what they call the skills gap crisis, right? This has been a big problem, right? In terms of job security and opportunity, right? We have limited skilled people, right? We have limited skilled people in this industry. So we need people to come in. You can imagine a company, right? The Nigerian company were actually looking for cloud technologies, right? They didn't even see people. They had to go outside to hire Indians. Why would Indians be working for the Nigerian companies, right? It's because of we don't have skilled people to actually man this role. So there is a skill gap crisis. So this is the best time for you to actually start your cloud journey, right? Start your cloud career. Then every company is a cloud company. By 2027, right? All companies will run their infrastructure in the cloud, right? Because the benefits are massive. The benefits are more than the cost, right? So it's an advantage, right? So if every company is a cloud company, then you actually need to be a cloud engineer to work for those companies, right? So this is one of the reasons why you need to actually key in 2026. Be a cloud engineer in 2026 because the industry is experiencing a massive growth, right? And only those that are skilled will be able to actually work in this industry. So let us look at the mistakes that most aspiring cloud professionals make and how we can actually avoid that, right? So let us avoid the tutorial trap, right? Now, this is a very vital mistake, right, that most beginners and non-technical persons actually make. Right now, you must not develop applications to be a cloud professional. No, right? As a cloud engineer, you are not responsible for building apps, right? No, that's not your job, right? Know someone that told me that he wanted to be a cloud engineer and was going to learn how to build a website. It was learning CSS, it was learning JavaScript, right? You don't need all that, right? Because as a cloud engineer, your job is to build infrastructure that applications will run on. You're not a developer, right? Rather, you're an infrastructure builder. So you need to actually know the exact courses to actually take so that you don't fall into the tutorial trap and get burned out, right? Which most beginners actually fail to actually understand, right? So that is why Tech Dealer is here for us, right? That is why I am here for you guys to actually put you through on that, right? Then lack of hands-on experience, you need to show proof, right? Companies will pay you well, right? Companies will employ you if you can actually show proof that you can actually build infrastructure. And in this course, you're going to get all that. You're going to be seeing how to build infrastructure, both with the management console and infrastructure as code. So when I say code, don't be afraid, right? Everything is documented, everything is explained in simple terms that even a 4-year-old child can understand what we are actually building, right? Then no structured learning path and guidance. Most people don't have a structured learning path, right? They learn JavaScript today, they learn Python tomorrow, they learn EC2 the next other day, and they just confuse themselves. So you don't have a social learning path and you're going to get burned out, right? You don't have any guidance, right? And that is why Tech Dealer is here, right? We are going to show you the structured learning path for you to actually follow, right? Then no power of mentorship. We know how important the tech industry take mentors, right? The mentorship is very important part of career growth. So that is what we are going to offer you, right? We're going to offer you that mentorship, that guidance, right, for you to actually take your career serious, take your career to the next level, right? And it's very important that you actually follow Tech Dealer to actually allow you to become a cloud technologist in 2026. So how can you start your cloud journey with Tech Dealer, right? So when we're looking at how you can actually start your journey with us, right? Now you have a structured learning path. Now you follow someone who knows road. You know the typical Nigerian term, right? Follow who know road. So that's exactly what you're going to do, right? You're going to build real projects and hands-on labs, right? You're going to see how to build infrastructure using the management console and using IAC, which means infrastructure as code, right? Then you're going to be trained by an expert, right? You're going to be trained by an expert, which is me, right? Myself. I'm going to train you in this course, and you're going to be seeing everything, right? That companies like OP, right? Your favorite fintech company, right? money point, right? Why their application is always available, right? Why their application is always fast. You're going to understand all that in this course, right? Then you're going to follow easy to follow learning materials, right? And those materials comprise of our African and Nigerian domain examples, right? We're going to be looking at what is working for us here, right? The examples that work for us here, and we're going to actually apply it to build infrastructure, right? Then you have a community and support system, so you can ask questions and people are going to actually respond to those questions and help you to actually scale and grow your career, right? Then at the end, you have a cloud certification to verify that you are actually a cloud technologist and you are ready to actually start building infrastructure for real world organizations. So all these are what you're going to see when you actually decide to start your tech journey with us. Okay, so when you purchase this course, right, this is the scheme of work, right? You can say that it is the scheme of work is AWS Cloud Practitioner and Solutions Architect curriculum. So it is two in one, right? So it is giving you that beginner to mid-level cloud knowledge, right? So it is a very detailed course, right? And if you come down here, you can see that we have an introduction to cloud computing and everything and what we are going to cover in this course, right? You can see the AWS service we're also going to use in week 1, and week 2 you're going to be seeing AWS Global Infrastructure and Security Fundamentals, and these are what we are going to cover, right? And week 3 we're going to get our hands dirty, right? And you can see all these are what we are going to do and cover in this course, right? So this scheme has created for you, right, so that you can actually stretch your how you can actually take this course for 12 weeks. So in 12 weeks, right, you should be ready to actually start building infrastructure for organization, right? So if you're faster, right, if you feel that okay, you can actually finish this course before 12 weeks, then that is good for you, right? But it has actually been stretched to 12 weeks so that you can actually have a full grasp and full understanding of how this course works. So it's very important that you actually understand this, right? Because if you follow this scheme that we have actually designed for you, then in 12 weeks you should be ready to start building cloud infrastructures. Okay, so how can you actually start learning with us? Now you can learn this course, cloud computing, right, in 2 ways, right? Now you can learn through our prerecorded course, right, which you by now, right, you will have seen it in Seller, right? So for you to watch this video, it means that you are actually contemplating on if you could or if you should purchase a course. So I will give you the go ahead. This video has actually giving you a brief introduction on what you need to know, right? So you can purchase the course and start your cloud journey, right? So everything about the course is in the scheme, so you follow the scheme exactly how it is for you to actually understand this course, right? Now the second way you can actually learn is through the live program, right, in which you have an online session in which we are going to teach you this course, right? And the course has been broken down, right? So if you want to actually take the online class, then you need to join the next cohort, right? So there is a number on this on our reading, right? So start the number up and join the next cohort, right? So without further ado, we're going to see in the other side. So start your cloud journey today. Bye for now.